Hey everyone, Heartless here, bringing you guys another StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void daily match. Today it's going to be a Protoss vs Terran on Orbital Shipyard. I'm excited for this one because it has Apocalypse, a good friend of mine, and we're going to see what he has in store for us today. So spawning in the top right hand corner, playing as our blue Protoss, playing for Team Ascension, it is Apocalypse. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, playing as our pink Terran for Inspire Gaming, it is DMT. I'm expecting a good match out of this. Apocalypse is a really good player in the sense of it is because he knows how to play aggressive but not overextend. When he goes to attack, he does enough damage to get a little bit of a head and then pull back. Don't die to anything, but then do it again and make sure that he just keeps increasing and kind of just in a way hacking like you were hack away at a tree or something like that. Just little chips here and there. Make sure never to overextend, playing conservatively but aggressive. And so that's one of the things I like about him and his play style. And as shown by his build order, he goes with a gateway first and going to be getting a Nexus. So the more relatively safe build instead of a Nexus first. And so he's going to be able to shoot any possible early aggression that might come out from DNT. But I don't think we're going to see anything because he got his barracks. So he went barracks first, then command center, and still no gas. Interesting. Possibly a second barracks and some early marine pressure. I wouldn't put that past anyone. I see we moving over. Yes, it is going to be a second barracks. All right. I like the position both of them are putting themselves in. DMT going to be putting himself in a little bit more of an aggressive position. Apocalypse going to be playing pretty standard, pretty conservative. I like this from both of them. It's going to make for an interesting match. Now, the Cybernetics core is finishing, so we're going to wait in here just a minute to see what the choice of tech is for Apocalypse. After the Mothership core gets built, he needs to bank up a little bit more gas. Right now, though, going to be fine. And a third barracks goes down for DMT, so a very early pressure from DMT. Possibly moving out here in a little bit to maybe try and get some damage done here at the door of Apocalypse. We'll find out in just a minute what he decides to do. Or if maybe these are going to be more defensive Marines. I don't know. We'll find out. And the choice of tech is actually going to be a Forge for Apocalypse. So maybe this is going to be a timing attack around the 4:35-minute mark, possibly. Quite possibly. And he gets shields out. So whatever he attacks with, which it looks like is going to be Adepts, are going to be pretty tough to kill for DMT. And so I like this situation. This is going to be a really nice attack. The robotics facility going down, so possibly some War Prism harass. Maybe some quick tech into disruptors. I think the Warp Prism is going to be a little bit more standard for him, but we'll see what happens. All right, Apocalypse is going to be go ahead and try and get some more scouting off, get a couple pot shots on this depot. And yeah, so the Marines are going to come out. The shade goes up. Oh! It blocks the barracks from landing. Awesome little play. But run away, Adept. Don't die. Okay. That was a nice little cheeky move there by Apocalypse. A little jukey there. Anyway. +1 armor is just over halfway done. So yeah, it's going to be here in just a few minutes. Sorry, in a few seconds. I'd probably say maybe about 30-ish. And Twilight Council goes down. And yes, it is going to be a Warp Prism as well, along with a second gateway and a third gateway. Warp Gate is done, so he's going to have 2 Warp Gates immediately and a third one here in a minute. So Twilight Council would not be surprised to see some Resonating Glaives out here, considering he already has 2 Adepts, 3 Adepts actually, on the field. Along with that +1 upgrade, I'm curious as to see where he's going to actually determine to drop, because, yeah, I guess he could go over here for this side of the natural, but, sorry, not the natural, the main, but this side of the natural is actually very exposed as well, and there's no army anywhere near, and it could actually do some good damage before the army is able to get there. So we'll find out here in just a minute. He loads the War Prism up and should be moving over here in just a minute. He starts +2 upgrades as well. which is going to make those Adepts even harder to hit. And yes, it is Resonating Glaze coming out of there for the upgrade. And behind this, he is getting Immortals. I like this decision. Immortals hit very hard against a bio composition. As long as you keep them alive and keep them in the back, they can do really, really good damage. And so I like that decision to help beef up his army. Now, let's see what this drop is going to be able to do, because the army is quite out of position. It's, yeah, pretty much right in the front door, and I don't know if he's expecting this attack or not. But here we go. The Adepts drop down. They're going to start wailing on these SCVs. They get a couple for their troubles already. And is he going to lose anything? No, he doesn't lose a single thing yet. And how many SCVs did he get? He got 6. That's a... Hey, I'd take 6 SCVs for free any day. Also behind this, Apocalypse getting his 3rd base. This really goes to show right now how comfortable Apocalypse feels, because DMT isn't doing anything with this army right now. He's just keeping them back. Ooh, the Adepts come out a little bit again, and they get another pot shot off and get another SCV. This army for DMT is all staying together. He's not picking anything up. Now, granted, that's because he's still waiting for his medevacs to finish. But now that the medevacs are finished, I think I'd like to see him pick up and maybe go drop the natural or something for Apocalypse. Just do some type of damage to keep Apocalypse back. Another Adept drop coming in. Gonna get another SCV for their troubles. And now he's up to 9 SCVs killed. For nothing other than some damage to his Adepts. As a Protoss, you will take that any day of the week. Alright. Getting the 3rd command center down for DMT. Good timing on it. And hopefully he'll be able to keep it safe, because it looks like Apocalypse is ready to move out again. Having done some good damage and not overextending. Bringing his army out. It looks like he's ready to go for another engagement. But the thing is this. Even though their armies are pretty close to each other. As a matter of fact, I think DMT is a little bit stronger. I'll get back to that in just a second. He baits the army out, gets some good force fields, zones out part of the army, brings them to him, and so he pretty much just fighting half of the army of DMT with his own. And yes, he's going to do some great damage. Another Warping of Adepts comes in, and he is able to keep one of the Immortals alive in the back, and just wailing on this army of DMT. Apocalypse is shredding them. He does lose one of his Immortals for his troubles, but at the same time, there's pretty much an army reset for both, well, not army reset, but kind of army evening. Before that engagement, DMT's army was actually stronger, but because of the force fields, Apocalypse was able to get a very favorable engagement and kind of even out the army supplies. But what I was saying before that attack is the fact that Apocalypse's economy is so much further ahead. He is up by 26 workers. 26 workers. That is very powerful, because now in the next minute or two, his production is really going to start kicking off. He's getting gateways 6 through 8 coming out. He's still pumping out Immortals out of his robotics facility, getting +3 shields now. +3 shields is awesome. This army is so difficult to kill, especially even with +1 attack. And gateways 9 through 12. 12 gateways. He wants all of the Adepts. There we go, sorry. He wants all of the Adepts. And also having researched Blink as well. He's going to get all the Stalkers. This army is becoming very, very scary. Now, yes, concussive shells are going to be very beneficial for this army to be able to deal with this, slowing them down and maybe being able to do some stutter step micro. But at this point, it may not be enough. The 4th command center is also getting built for DMT as well. I'd like to see him take that base almost immediately, because he really does need that production, because right now his economy is so far behind, and so is his production. And here we go. Apocalypse poising for an engagement, getting a nice little pot shot off on a Marine, and another Liberator comes out, starts targeting, and okay, the Widow Mine is going to be able to burrow. No, it does. It dies. The Widow Mines die, and a few more, great force fields by Apocalypse. portioning off that army. And this is what I was saying earlier. He knows how to take unfavorable engagements without overextending. He is hacking away at DMT. At the first part, it was over here at the economy of DMT for a little bit. And then it was that engagement, which kind of evened out the army supply. And then kind of having DMT's army again. This is fantastic play by Apocalypse. Quite frankly, textbook. If you're going to want to go with just gateway units and a few immortals from the Robo, this is textbook how you want to do it if you're going up against Bio. Also, he did end up putting down that robotics bay as well. He is getting down a couple disruptors, which will greatly benefit. But he's going to go ahead and push on out, bait out part of the army of DMT, and this army is really starting to hurt for DMT. But Apocalypse can't engage too much into those Liberators because they deal so much damage. Another massive warp in of Adepts as well. And I think I'd like to see him go ahead and try and flank around. Especially now considering the command center is floating over. Oh, might be able to pick that off. And is he going to go south? Please go south. Please go. Yes, he does. He goes south, and he should be able to get this command center with how many stalkers he has. Let's see. The aggressive blink right on top of it. And does he get it? Oh, with the army coming around, he's got to be careful. Yes, he does. He gets the command center. It falls while the rest of his army zones out the army of DMT. Great pickoff for Apocalypse. Very, very difficult situation to deal with in DMT situation because now he's really, really starting to hurt. His army is so far behind, and not only that, but so less advanced. We got +3, +1 upgrades, and I think we have... Well, I guess it's not so far advanced, less advanced, because he's got +2, +2. But especially with +2 weapon upgrades coming out, along with +1 shields, this army for Apocalypse is beginning to, once again, almost in degrees, being able to get better every engagement and more strong. And DMT is just having a difficult time figuring out how to deal with this. And honestly, I think he needs to move out and attack Apocalypse because Apocalypse's economy and his production has gone completely unchecked this game. I don't think there's been any damage to anything in the economy of Apocalypse. And DMT realizes this, so he's got to be careful. But the pylon does allow Apocalypse to know the positioning, and he should be able to shut him down here. So the Stalkers are going to start moving in. And here we go. We're going to have an engagement here in just a minute. And the Liberators are going to start targeting, but the Stalkers immediately pick them off. The Liberators have been completely nullified, and the army for Apocalypse is so strong. DMT has to move back. He has to take a more favorable engagement and get better positioning in this open field. One whiff on a Disruption Nova, but Apocalypse is just going to start marching on down and just start wailing even more on this army of DMT. And DMT having to do another stim. This army for DMT is so weak, so incredibly weak. With only 2 medevacs now, most likely one of them is going to fall. One of them does fall. The second one falls. There is no healing potential now for DMT. Apocalypse now smells blood. Here we go. Apocalypse charges up the ramp. Gets a couple Marines as they come down. The SCVs are pulled off the line. One disruptor shot whiffs. The SCVs get absolutely obliterated. A second Disruption Nova takes out so many Marines. And there it is. GG. Well played. Wow. What a game by Apocalypse. Very well played. And a very valiant effort by DMT. That was very, very good play on both sides. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you did like what you saw. Please remember to follow me on Facebook, on Twitch, and on Twitter. Also remember to go check out EnochProductions.com. He's the guy that produces the music at the end of these videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.